Hello, everybody. We are live on YouTube, back on all of your other favorite apps. Joel, with me, as always, I'm Rob. This is the PA Turn Pod, episode number 144, 12 times 12, on Pi Day. Lots of numbers. And
Yes.
we're going to talk about numbers as well with some of the stuff we talk about today with these new contracts being signed in free agency and football, some hockey stuff. Pretty much going to touch on all four sports if we can. But first of all, how you doing tonight?
Do we really have to talk about the Philadelphia basketball team?
Well, probably not. That's a good point. We
Um.
did get an update on Embiid, so maybe we'll
Oh,
throw
did we?
that in there somewhere. Yeah.
It'll be news for me when we get there. To answer your question, I'm doing okay. Sorry, folks, for watching. The camera's kind of shoddy because I
Looks like
forgot
you're
to
hanging out
put.
with Cheech and Chong.
Right. I'm not smoking, but the light bulb in my room it affected the camera quality so bad that the brightness has to be up to this point, and it looks like I'm, as you said, Cheech and Chong. I'm ready to
Kind
spark.
of looks like my first like 4 or 5 Instagram posts.
Wasn't that back in the day? You would like take photos of your food and put a heavy filter on it. What a time to be alive!
Yeah. I think there's more posts on my Instagram that are archived than actually available to see at this point.
That's
All
how
the
my
dumb
page.
nonsense I put on there.
That's how my page was when I had it before you said, you know what, screw this, just delete all of it, delete my account for now. But it's been what 3 months. I said I want to be back. Eventually, I'll
Yeah.
be back at some
This
point.
guy. Just full of lies.
Tell me what I'm telling lies. I guess right now, I guess right. But how are you
I
doing,
guess.
sir?
I'm all right. I woke up with a really weird headache today. This is the first time that I've ever been really truly affected by daylight savings, it seems. Because every
Really?
day this week I've woken up kind of feeling lousy. And I've had trouble sleeping at night, so I don't know if maybe it's just too hot in my room. We got to turn the AC on at some point versus having the heat on. But obviously, a lot more electric when you do that.
Yeah, I'm dealing with that here at
But
the house. They're like, "Oh, it's fine." I'm looking at the
yeah,
thermostat. It's 80 degrees in the
yeah.
house.
Plus, you're in like a shore town too, so it's gonna get hot there faster than it does here, I would imagine.
Yeah, you step outside, it's like beautiful. I'm
Oh,
like, I,
well,
I stayed out basically.
gorgeous today.
I stayed out the whole day. So I went inside the one time, passed out, and unfortunately, you were waiting for me. But
That's all right.
here we are.
I
Sorry, a little late.
for those interested in hearing the stories, I mean, we've had a little bit of a recording
Nightmare.
collapse of we're almost like the late season Eagles the last couple of weeks. Tuesday 10 was on the docket this week, and I stayed late at work, unfortunately, on Tuesday, and then it was kind of just all right. Well, we'll push it to the Thursday. Last week, I think we skipped the episode. I forget why. Oh, I got stuck working at open and close at work last Thursday, and I think the previous week we ran into technical issues. We really didn't
Same.
have anything to talk about yet, so it would have been weird if we just jumped on at 9:30 at night talking about you know what Kyle Lowry brings to the Sixers. So we're back. We're gonna do a little bit of Flyers actually.
Oh,
Don't oh, I got somebody offered me some. I've been
trade.
scoping out jerseys on eBay for baseball trips, and I just got sent an offer. Um,
Hmm.
let's go. We're going to talk a little bit of Flyers, talk a little bit of the NFL offseason to date. There's moves that are still happening as we are recording. I'll try to remember them as we get there. Um, excuse me. And then we're going to jump into our MLB predictions. Always my favorite episode of the year. I enjoy this one more than I enjoy the football one. I try to split it this year.
Yeah, yeah.
When we get there, we'll do about half of it this week and half of it next week. And then there will be a slight little delay in recording, or maybe we'll just have to record on different days. We finally booked our first venue. I know it was down to Kansas City, Houston, and Seattle for the ballpark tour. Stadium number 14 will be T-Mobile Park
Hey,
in Seattle. Officially, that was the leader in the clubhouse.
that.
Calvin Ridley had good money on it, so we're going to be doing Seattle from I think we're going March 27th is when we leave, which is a Wednesday. Coming home the 31st, which is a Sunday, so a little bit of a delay. I'll try to do a Tuesday 10 maybe the night before,
Hmm.
but we are leaving it like really early in the morning. I think we're leaving 6 in the morning, so we got to get to the airport on like 4 in the morning. So maybe I'll record on the drive there, but that'll be we'll figure something out recording wise as we lead into that.
You
And
love
I'm
the West
working.
Coast.
Yeah, and I think I'm working 12 days in a row starting this past Monday. So a little bit of an odd kind of shift in schedule and everything. So things will be awkward, but we'll get around to it. And then the following week I'll be in Chicago. So a little bit of an awkward, wonky start. That's why we're about a month out from the baseball being, or really 2 weeks away from baseball being played. That's why we're doing the predictions now, because there's a chance we might not be able to get to them.
Right. Let me see. I just opened up Twitter and it's just an absolutely chaotic mess.
Before we jump into anything, we do have somewhat breaking news.
Oh,
About an hour ago, it was announced that I don't know if this is a report or if it's confirmed, but the college football playoff will be expanding to 14 teams in 2026. So they're not even waiting to see how the 12-team format works out before they jump into 14. Um, Early thoughts on this is I think it's a bit, I mean, it's obviously a money grab. It's only a matter of time until we get to, either 16 or 18. And it just becomes what the FCS does, where they have Division Two and Division Three and high school and everything else, where it's just, a big bracket and it's January madness.
right. Remember the good old days where you had a computer basically judge the final four?
Yeah, now
Even
you just, I think there's automatic bids now if you win your conference. So it's not as fun to me anymore. I like the Florida State, Georgia, and like Texas thing that we were doing a couple months ago. It's not going to happen anymore because every team that's any good is going to get in now, and now every other bowl game is going to stink. Speaking of bowl games, every bowl game will be in College Football 25, which is the new game coming out, or 24, whatever it is.
hey,
That'll be out in July. I'm very, very excited about that. Might need to take like a month off from work to play it, but it's going to be fun. MLB The Show early access tonight. A lot of good stuff going on.
a lot of good stuff in the gaming world. A lot of good stuff
Yeah,
happening.
the WWE game is out. Two coworkers of mine said they played it all day long. So I'm
That's
considering
good
getting
for
it.
business.
Yeah, well, not at work, obviously, but
How would you know? You're probably not there.
fair.
Oh shoot, they just ratted themselves out.
But
I heard
yeah,
good
they
things about the
don't.
game though, for sure.
It looks amazing, doesn't it? I don't know if you've seen many screenshots or videos, but it looks great.
Yeah, I seen some of it, some of the gameplay. I was like, I don't know, $70 on a PS5 is crazy.
Yeah, it's tough. Oh yeah, welcome. Big news, everybody. We're catching everybody up on the news. My
Right?
co-host is now team hashtag team PS5.
Yeah, back on there. I was
Did
originally
you
there. I
Oh, I'm
came
sorry.
back around.
Did you happen to get any games for it, or are you just still in the asset acquiring process?
No, I have it.
Daryl Morey over here.
No,
Okay.
I came with a game. It was like a sign and trade or whatever. Yeah, I did sign and
Okay.
trade. Took the Xbox away, got a PS5 for it. Brought in a FIFA game, Spider Man
Nice.
game, and then God of War. I was on a
Okay.
splurge.
I've heard good things about the that last game. I don't know anything about it, but
God of War,
yeah, I know FIFA's always good.
FIFA's was good.
Did you put $600,000 into it so your ultimate team could be good too, like all the little
Nah,
kids on YouTube?
I don't really play Ultimate. I'm kind of a
Yeah.
my career guy. Just like to build my
Yeah.
Cletus Little. Shout out to
Yeah, I'm an
Cletus Little.
offline guy too. I started playing NHL again like a week or two ago, and I still have a created team from a couple of years ago with like me and all my friends on it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't feel like doing a full season because I was like, I don't have enough time to do this. So I'm doing a playoff mode,
Hmm.
and we are in the Stanley Cup final in my playoff mode with my created team. We're taking. I'll give you a guess who we're playing.
Your wife and her girlfriends.
Well, no,
I would
there would be no
say.
physicality. They don't let you. Well, no, never mind. We're on
Well,
YouTube.
what
I can't say
conference
the
are you
joke
in?
out. I'm in the East.
Oh,
Or we're in the
definitely.
East.
It's got to be between the Kraken or the Knights. I would say the
The
Knights.
Kraken, the
Oh,
Kraken, which is funny because that was the first year they existed, so their roster theoretically in the game kind of sucks. But
they made it.
I'm excited to play them. We will be going to if everything works out properly, we'll be going to a Kraken game in Seattle. By the way,
Get your
the
upside down Fanatics jersey now.
yeah, well, I got my right side up China jersey from a couple months ago actually.
Oh yes, you
So
do.
I have that Winter Classic jersey, which is fucking
So
cool.
beautiful, right?
Yeah,
Such they do well. Them and the
they,
Golden
they
Knights as well. The two newest.
it's crazy.
It's
Oh my
awesome.
god, yeah, they both do everything well. If you go on Fanatics, which we were, I was on Fanatics for a lot last night after I got home from work,
Hmm.
and we were on Dick's Sporting Goods website as well. Just kind of like so for all the parks that we're going to this year, because we're trying to. Obviously, it's hard to do this on a budget, but we're trying to be reasonable. You go to the Fanatics, you go to sale items. Kraken have a million items that are like on clearance,
Really,
and every single one of their hats looks amazing.
I have one of their
Like
hats.
all their winter hats look great. Like they have the perfect colors for pretty much any color scheme. I actually bought a regular cap for them instead of a beanie or whatever.
Dude,
I
those
like the way
prices
their
are
hats.
crazy.
They have so many nice colors. And
Wait.
I'm looking forward to getting a Cubs hat. Their spring training hat is gorgeous. The one with the little bear on it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like powder blue with like a dark blue bear. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you do love the what was it? That light blue teal color combo
Yep.
colorway with like a
Yeah.
darker blue, or
Yeah,
is
it's
it
very
black?
interesting. Both those teams have done a good job of coming out with colors that complement each other. Like the Knights, they had that gray color for a little while. They did away. Well, they still wear it, I think, a little bit, but they wear the gold jerseys now. But gray and white look so good together.
With the
And
red,
now the Kraken have like that teal with like a red and then a darker color. It all looks amazing.
they have a Kelly
And
green version, but it's for St. Patty's. That's funny,
there's a lot of cool stuff, and all the Winter Classic stuff is on clearance, like $12. So I got a T-shirt as well.
dude. The Kraken is such a good name. The Thunder sucks. Let's just call it what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, we gotta do something. There's a lot of names that I think could use rebranding, and teams that could use new, like the Thunder. They've tried all these city jerseys. They just need a rebrand. I think Thunder is. I'm a fan of teams that don't have the S at the name of the, like the Jazz. I think is pretty cool, even though there's no Jazz in Salt Lake City. Um, the
Right.
Kraken is a great name. The Heat, amazing name. The Magic, even cool. I can't think. Is there a football team with no S?
Uh, ooh, that's a good test right
No,
there.
I don't think there are because I know there's the Lightning, the Heat, the Magic, the Avalanche, which is another great name. The Wild.
I thought you said football for some reason.
Yeah, I'm thinking of all the ones throughout sports. I can't think of one in football.
Um. Oh wait, no, never mind.
Yeah, I don't think there is one.
Broncos. Well, Broncos is technically Broncos because it's not plural, right?
Well, it
Raiders,
is. Yeah, it's got an S at the end.
Bronco. I guess Bronco. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Uh, yeah, I don't see one.
Commander. Ooh, Washington football team.
That is true.
That is
Yeah,
true.
none of the there's no team in the NFL that doesn't have an S. That's crazy.
Well,
But yeah, we gotta
football.
do something about the Thunder. Kraken are gonna be cool. Tickets, dude. So let's play a game. Um, we're gonna play a game called Get In Price, and then I promise to the listeners we'll jump into the actual content today.
Get in price.
Um,
Okay.
all right. So we'll start with the fun one. We're going to a White Sox game on April 3rd. You want to guess the Get In price for that? So before fees.
Is that opening day? No.
That's the week after opening day. We will be at opening day in Seattle. It's our first time going to opening day, which is really sweet.
Nice.
Haven't been to an actual opening day in a while because most of the games we go to are I'm sorry, what's it called? Like the second or third day of the season.
And where was that going to be at?
Whatever the well, Seattle will be opening day, and then the next week will be in White Sox Stadium on a Wednesday for a 2 o'clock game. Well, 1 o'clock local time. Would you like to guess the get-in price for Braves at White Sox
I'm
at
in this game.
1 o'clock Central Time on April the 3rd? It'll be the getaway day for both teams, as they will not,
Are you talking
as
about
the
like
Braves would,
standing room?
just like cheapest ticket on before fees.
Braves at White Sox, correct?
Yeah,
I'll say $33.
lower,
22 bucks.
lower,
19.
lower,
15.
lower,
9.
lower.
A dollar, dude? No way.
$5.
All right.
It's $65 to sit behind home plate.
$65 behind home
Yeah,
plate.
like row 15. And then Kraken
So this is
hosting the
standing room.
Stars.
All right, standing room.
I don't even know if they have they can't sell standing room if they can't seat the actual
$5.
building. $5 to get in, yeah.
That's standing room, baby.
Yeah, cheapest ticket in at the Kraken Arena was when they played the Stars on March 30th.
I might know this one. It's got to be $85.
$104.
I was gonna say 100, but I was
Yeah,
looking
the
for a lower seat.
Mariners tickets I think I paid 120 or 120 each for row 1 up top
And that
for opening
is
day, and then
their
the
base.
second behind home plate where we normally sit, and then the second game of the season against the Red Sox, which we'll also be able to go to, it's like $40. So opening day is just a little bit more expensive. I did get a really good price on a J Rod jersey, so I got a teal J Rod coming, and I got a Luis Robert White Sox City Connect jersey coming. It was like $40 on eBay, which is amazing. So very excited
Dude,
about this.
five
Um,
bucks.
no,
What
it's
the
literally
fuck?
five. I was amazed. I was like,
That's
oh, I was like setting reminders on my phone, like, okay, payday.
How is that
order of
not sold out?
operations. Well, it's a Wednesday at 1 o'clock, so it's not exactly a an exciting venture.
Did you see Kirk Cousins' press conference moment? I know I'm jumping around here.
No, I would haven't.
He said, "I've always wanted to say this for Shizzle."
Broncos country. Let's wrap.
I don't know if he said that. It's just someone
Oh
on
wow,
Twitter.
new tickets added for this game.
For which
Yep,
game?
$5. Section 509, row 4. $5, 9.2. Amazing deal for the White Sox. Um, if you upgrade your ticket, they actually let you play in the game. I think it's $45. You get all the food and hot dogs you can eat, and then you get to play third base. Actually, you get to be in the rotation because they just traded Dylan Cease. All right, let's jump into some news and notes. Well, I got about 10. Well, we have about 10 bullet points here. Jason Kelsey,
Get
Fletcher
the
Cox,
tissues,
first
baby.
time we're. Yeah, what's up?
Get the tissues ready.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox officially announced their retirements. Um, I guess the Kelsey one wasn't really super surprising to me. I don't know about you, but the Cox one kind of took me. There was a report a few weeks ago that Fletcher Cox was considering retiring. I didn't really think much of it. I thought, well, I guess that's cool, but I don't think it's going to happen. And then it just came kind of out of nowhere this past weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty random, but like you said, he did hint at it here and there.
Yeah.
And once they got eliminated in Tampa, it was like the realization that this could be the last time we'll see all three of these guys
Yeah.
on the field: Kelsey, BG, and Cox.
Pretty upsetting.
And for a minute, we thought Kelsey was gonna come back, but got the retirement. BG did say if he's gonna go out, he wants to have that swan song season.
Hmm.
So I knew he was gonna be safe for at least a year. Cox was surprising though, but I think he sees the writing on the
Yeah.
wall.
I think that so the report that I saw, I don't know what to make of it, but I can't get an alternate total. I don't know what to make of it, but the report I saw was the only team he would want to play for outside of the Eagles was the Steelers. And I wonder if neither of those two teams really had a ton of interest in him. I'm sure there was probably some sort of interest, but for the money he probably would have wanted, and then the number of snaps he would have expected to play, probably wasn't worth doing another, summer of working out 9 to 5 every day and then doing mini camps and everything, and then going through another season with a team that might not make the playoffs in the Steelers or a team that just fell short and he maybe doesn't believe in the coach. So we'll see. Maybe we get a reason or something, but nothing has really caught my eye.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't just. Well, I mean, he still had what years on his contract.
I think he was a free agent. I think they signed him for like 1 year last year.
Well, then if that's the case, I'm surprised he just didn't become a free agent, but just say I'm just going to take some time away from football until
Yeah.
later in the season where a team desperately needs, a defensive player. He
It's
can just sign
interesting
with them.
because last year I'm pretty sure he was briefly a free agent last year, wasn't he? With then they cut him and he
He
was
had
going
the
to sign
same
with the
money.
Colts, and then it came out that he was actually coming back.
Well, I think it was like a contract thing just to get more money, but also save.
Why can't I bet on two hockey teams? It's ridiculous. I
Call
don't know
Aaron
why this.
Rodgers as the vice president. He might fix that for you.
Yeah, he's too busy denying Sandy Hook. Um, oh, there we go. Do we trust the Penguins?
I was gonna do a hockey one, but no, I'm on a hot streak. I am not gonna ruin my hot streak by doing it on hockey.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're going Penguins and Panthers tonight,
Did I show
and
you
then we're
this?
going.
Did I show you this parlay that I had that basically was one of my longer legs of all in recent times?
I don't
And
believe so.
I cashed out the night before the last game, thinking I might get burned. And I almost, if I didn't cash out, I would have got burned. I would have lost $250 completely,
Goodness
but
gracious.
saved myself 160.
So speaking of people cashing out but getting less money than they originally thought they would, Cody Bellinger
Hey,
returning to Wrigley. Look at that! Look at that segue. That's what we do in the business, folks. Shaking off the rust here. 20 minutes in.
yeah,
Cody Bellinger back to the Cubs, which is good news because I ordered a Bellinger jersey.
hey,
So or from China anyway. I think I got Bellinger and she got Swanson. Um, we were gonna do Bryant and Rizzo, but I was like, Bellinger's kind of fun. Maybe we'll do him. But Bellinger returning to Chicago, 3 years, 80 million. He's got opt-outs after both of the first 2 years. He's looking obviously for a longer-term deal. It seems like Scott Boras kind of overplayed his hand.
oh
And
yeah,
then right after that, Matt Chapman, 3 years, $54 million with the Giants. with opt-outs after the first and second year also. So it seems like Boris is kind of just rolling the dice, saying, "Hey, where do you want to go? I can get you 3 years. If you suck, you get more money than you probably deserve. But if you're good, you can just opt out and be a free agent again, and maybe teams will be more eager to sign you." Um, Notwithstanding, obviously Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery still free agents, which is crazy. But at least we got two of the big fish off the out of the pond.
Right. I mean, I think we talked about this in a previous episode. Baseball of all sports, it's a very how you might know where I'm going with this. You can't just get off the couch and then just be there for opening day. You
Yeah,
need to put in the work. It's all routine. It's all these rituals, all these superstitions, the practice, the work, the hand eye coordination.
yeah,
For Snell and Montgomery to be sitting because they want money. Granted, I mean you worked for this. They're
yep.
well within their rights, but at some point you're going to affect your bottom dollar, your health, and whoever is going to sign you as well because you're not going to be 100% through spring training. You're literally just
It's
off the couch.
yeah, it's weird too because Snell, I think, even though he's got the two Cy Youngs, I don't think many people believe that he is that pitcher. I think most people believe he's closer to like a mid threes ERA. Like he doesn't pitch deep into games, which I guess helps him because his ERA and his WHIP will stay lower. But last year he walked a million batters, but never let them score. So I don't know really what he is. And Montgomery doesn't have as long of a track record. He was good with the Yankees, but he really took off when he got traded to
Cardinals.
St. Louis, and then eventually went to Texas, and then pitched really well in the playoffs. Made himself a lot of money theoretically, but really hasn't made himself. It looks like teams. I wouldn't be surprised if Montgomery gets like a 2 year, 36 with an opt out after the first year, and Snell ends up getting like, I don't know if he's going to be one that settles, but I could see him getting like 5 150, or maybe 4 for 100 with
Most of it
incentives, or
guaranteed.
3 for 100 and opt outs after the first 2 years. I don't know. I thought for sure the Yankees were going to kind of pivot to both of them after obviously what happened with Garrett Cole, but if I had to guess, I think Snell either is an Angel or a Mariner come opening day, if he even signs before opening day, and then Montgomery, I could see him going back to the Yankees maybe, or maybe even the Red Sox.
Uh, it's just baffling. I don't get it. Just,
It is confusing.
but it's also the Scott Boras issue as well.
Yeah.
That's why you pay him, but you're also should be looking at like, dude. I mean, opening day is what 2 weeks away,
Yeah,
week and a half.
this wasn't exactly star-studded free agent. I mean, outside of Otani, obviously, but this wasn't who's a
Juan
very
Soto,
unique. Yes, yeah, true. He did get traded, but you think about it, the free agent class after like the third or fourth guy, you go Otani, Bellinger, and then it's like okay, Snell, Montgomery, Chapman. None of these guys are exciting. Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes Gurriel, like some guys that aren't really that exciting, and there's still a lot of guys out there. Um, and then you
it's
look at
crazy.
football where like the top seven free agents rumors came out like literally the second the tampering period began. Oh, Saquon's gonna be an Eagle. Looks like Kirk's gonna be a Falcon, and like 20 minutes later, you go to the
Right,
bathroom, you come back. Oh, this guy got traded. Joe Mixon's gonna be gone, and now like everybody's on a different team, like you're playing Madden. And
right,
in baseball, I understand it's a big commitment money wise because it's more money than most of the other sports. Like an average baseball player makes $5 million. Average football player is making like maybe a million if he's lucky. And basketball different than hockey, obviously, but it's a big commitment, and the owners have gotten burned by these big contracts. As great as Miguel Cabrera was, he had a massive contract that really made it impossible to move him. A-Rod toward the end was getting paid a ton of money. He's suspended every year.
Pujols.
Stanton's deal looks terrible right now. Yeah, Pujols had a massive deal. Josh Hamilton's deal, 5 for 125.
God,
Even the Ryan Howard deal. So I mean, they've gotten burned with so many of these big deals, and a lot of them being Boris guys. I mean, Harper 13 330 looks like a good deal right now, but he wants an extension. Are you shitting me? Like, I I think owners are a little bit more cautious with their money and more willing to make trades for guys that are controlled. In a sense, like when the Padres went out and got Soto, they had theoretically 2.5 years to have him,
yeah,
and then now the Yankees getting Soto for a year and maybe being able to retain him. It's I don't know. I think that especially for like the middle tier players who are the top tier free agents, like a Jordan Montgomery and Blake Snell,
hmm
I think are no better than Snell, maybe the 15th best starter, Montgomery maybe like the 25th best starter in baseball. They're obviously looking to get paid like they're Garrett Cole, and it's just not going to happen. I understand the market. Sometimes teams will get desperate, but more often than not, the only teams interested are contending teams, and the only teams these guys want to go to are contending teams. So you need a perfect storm, and thankfully the Phillies were not digging, going deep into free agency this year,
Thank
signing only
God.
Whit Merrifield and Aaron Nola. So thankfully they didn't spend a ton of money on junk. But there's a lot of teams that have committed money in the past to guys that sucked.
Right. I mean, they took care of their own. They got Nola, and they
Yeah,
got Wheeler restructured as
yeah.
well. So
Wheeler's contract was big.
he's probably gonna be the opening day starter too.
Yeah,
So I mean, you're right.
and they got Ranger healthy for full spring training. He's pitched 10 innings, hasn't a lot of run. Walker looks pretty good so far. Sanchez is obviously there's optimism with him. I think the Phillies are in a good place right now.
Walker's my workhorse in the regular season, and just a
Yeah,
bench guy on in the postseason. So
yeah. Walker has drastically, not drastically, but has definitely cleaned up his mechanics this year. It looks like he's getting more drive off his back leg, and he's not starting in a stretch position. It looks like he's starting more in a standard windup position, just kind of slanted a little bit. And he's getting a little bit. It looks like he might be throwing harder. I haven't really watched closely, but from the videos I've seen, it looks like he's probably able to generate more velocity based on how he looks, and he looks good.
love to
He
see
looks a
it.
little bit slimmer too. I think he took it to heart last postseason that he didn't play.
We
And
still
I'm
don't know
surprised he was even
why.
on the roster. Well, he was the odd man out. It was weird that they started Sanchez over him, but
That's what I'm saying.
Sanchez wasn't terrible though.
But not only that, like he didn't see an inning in a batter
Yeah,
at all.
yeah. Those blowouts against the Marlins were probably the best time to use him, and the blowouts against the Diamondbacks, and then maybe that last inning against the Braves. You have to get him into those games because you might need him at some point.
Yeah, they were kind of chalked at that point.
I mean, even Bilotti and Brogdon pitched 2 years ago in the playoffs. But yeah, Dylan Cease, Padres. They just knew I was coming to Comiskey or whatever. I don't think it's called Comiskey anymore. Guaranteed rate field. They knew we were going to be flying in, so they said, let's just trade our opening day starter. Oddly enough, the Padres traded away one of the big prospects they got in the Soto deal. So they didn't even use that deal to rebuild their system. They just used it to get another guy. Um, and that leaves, Montgomery and Snell as the two big fish remaining, pulling splinters out of their behinds. More news: National signed Eddie Rosario to a minor league deal. They now have like 7 playable outfielders. Um, Adam Duvall, the guy wanted on the Phillies pretty badly. He went back to the Braves today.
Really,
And Joey Votto going to the Blue Jays, as we said all along. Go to Canada.
but minor league
And
contract, by the way.
yeah, I think with an invite to spring, so he's hoping he can make the team.
Yeah,
It's gonna be tough. He's got Brandon Belt above him, and he's also got Vladdy, obviously. So it's gonna be tough for him to make that team.
but it's
But I think
Votto.
crazier things have happened.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right,
I would love to see him thrust into a pennant race.
that I was gonna say AFC West. That AL East
Yeah,
is cooking.
great division. All 5 teams are good. Well, 4.5.
Who's the out right now?
Boston's arguable.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see what the Rays do. They can, 'cause they were like a Cinderella story at the beginning. They were red hot, then they faded
Yeah, they're
towards the
getting.
end.
Yeah, Taj Bradley just got hurt the other day. Another freaking arm injury for a Rays pitcher.
Damn,
I mean, Eflin's their opening day starter, it seems, because I don't think McClanahan's back
by
yet.
default. Oh my god.
Yeah, Rasmussen, they're beat up. Um, Boston just lost Lucas Giolito, Tommy John surgery. Signed him to a deal. He's probably going to opt in for the second year now. The Yankees are in trouble, but I think it's still a two. I think it's 2 teams really at the top. I think it's going to be Baltimore and the Yankees. I can see Baltimore regressing this year, but Toronto's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, 3 times, 4 times, shame on me. So
Right, same
until
same shit.
they actually do something in the playoffs, I can't let myself get fooled by the Blue Jays again.
I mean, shout out to those Canadian faithfuls.
Yep.
Going every season thinking like the Cowboys. We're going to the Super Bowl, right? We're going to the World Series, right? And then you fall flat on your face when it comes
Yeah.
down to it. Unfortunately,
They have like a little bit of little brother syndrome because they can't keep the Yankees out of their mouths, and they can't beat them. So
maybe if they get Blake Snell, maybe see what happens.
yeah, right.
All right,
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
moving on. Let's hit up the Flyers, baby. Now, you may be the one to. I don't know what happened to Tortorella there, but the
Yeah.
Flyers began their 2-game suspension era of torts Tuesday night with the W at home versus the San Jose Sharks, which was a sweat for me in the parlay business because I thought it was an easy win. It was a
Yeah,
nail biter, but it was 3-2 final. Big
worst team in the
guys.
league.
Yeah,
Flyers lose to them over there, beat them here by one.
but remember, they lost to them earlier in the season, and then they kicked off a red hot streak of like what 20 plus games or something like that.
Yeah,
They were red hot, and then tonight, I mean, they're currently third in the Metro Division behind the Hurricanes and the Rangers. Sixth in the conference, which I like. Now, what's the playoff seeding? Is it 8 seeds or
it's so there's four divisions, two per conference. Three teams from so for the Flyers, for instance,
are they in?
the top three teams from the division get in, and then the fourth team is a wild card.
So we're out.
So for the two Eastern Conference divisions, is the top three, and then the two best remaining teams. So the Flyers right now are in third in the Metro. So they would be in if the season ended now. They have I think 6 points up on the Islanders, who are really struggling. The Penguins are kind of out of it. Capitals are not that good this year. Pittsburgh's terrible this year. Devils fire their coach. So there's a lot going on in the Metro. They might just get in by accident because I think Carolina and the Rangers are the two teams ahead of them.
Yeah, those are the two teams ahead of them, and then in the conference, the Lightning are right behind them.
Yeah,
Making Thursday's
which I wouldn't worry
matchup
too much about. But
really
it'll matter for them. But head to head, it probably wasn't. It isn't going to matter too much.
well because tonight's matchup against the Leafs is pivotal because I think a loss, Lightning could just leapfrog them in the conference.
Yeah, they could jump the Leafs, I think, right? I'd have to
Yeah.
look at it real quick. So the Flyers are really only impacted by what happens with the Islanders, the Rangers, and the Hurricanes directly. Um,
What?
as it stands right now, they are third in the Metro
Uh,
with 76 points. They're 8 points behind Carolina, 14 behind the Rangers. So they're not going to catch either of them. The team that they have to worry about the most is the Islanders, who are 4 points behind them. And then if for some reason the Islanders jump the Flyers and get into the playoffs as one of the three seeds in the Metro, then they have to contend with Tampa Bay, Detroit, Washington, Buffalo. It's a lot of those teams I don't really think are going to be a concern, but Flyers have to really fall apart here toward the end if they don't get in.
they'll have to do
And
an
they've been
Eagles.
pretty good. They're not as good scoring. Teams like Detroit and Buffalo, and I think even let me look, the Islanders have more goals than them too. But the Flyers have gotten pretty good 5-on-5 play, and they're only a -1 on the goal differential. So if they win tonight, they'll be up or even. So
Now, what happened to Tortorella? I did see a little bit of the John
the,
Boy.
yeah.
What happened?
Um, so in the Tampa game, first of all, they were down like 3-0 at the time. They got hit or two goals early, and then the Flyers took a penalty. I think they called a double minor against one of the Flyers. Or it might have just been a standard minor, but the Tampa was up 3-0.
Mhm.
Something happened where Garnet Hathaway was coming out for a face-off, or it was after a whistle, and he kind of like shouldered one of the Lightning guys. And so actually what happened was there were two Flyers going back for a puck in the corner. There was a Lightning player between them. The Lightning guy kind of just fell, and they called tripping initially on the Lightning player, and then they changed it to one of the Flyers players. Torres was pissed about that. Then during the penalty kill, during like off play, like in the middle of whistles, Garner Hathaway was skating onto the ice and shouldered one of the Tampa guys, and the official gave him a 10-minute misconduct, which doesn't count toward a penalty kill or anything. But that player's not allowed to play for 10 minutes. So Tortorella said something. Still haven't figured out what he said, and he got thrown out of the game. And then because he refused to leave the bench area, because Wes McCauley, the official, who's notorious for being not Scott Foster-ish, but like kind of a center of attention guy.
Right.
Like the fans paid money to see him. He stood near the penalty box and he sent whoever the other official was over to try to get Torts to leave. And he said, "I'll leave if he comes over here."
All right. I did see that
And
part.
so he refused to leave the bench area. So they gave him a 2-game suspension. I coincidentally, the 2003-04 Lightning team that won the Stanley Cup under Tortorella was in the building that night, and they were up top, and you could see them reacting to Tortorella being a menace. So, but Rocky Thompson, I think, was the interim coach. He's the guy in charge of the power play, so he should be fired. But he helped them get to a victory against the Sharks the other night. Now they got Toronto tonight. It's a big game, just
you
because the
got?
Flyers need to keep beating teams in the conference.
Right. Who do you got on that team then? I'm leaning on Maple Leafs might just.
It's
kill
here.
this.
I think the Maple Leafs blew them out when they played up there. Uh, I
A
I give a
3-2
slight
performance
edge.
against the Sharks wasn't
Yeah,
great.
I'll give a slight edge to the Maple Leafs. I don't know how their travel schedule looks.
that's true.
if they're on the second of a back to back or something. Toronto was kind of in the same boat as the Flyers, though they're the third seed in their conference, so they haven't played since Saturday,
Oh.
and they don't play again until Saturday. So I think the Maple Leafs are obviously more rested. The Flyers tonight are 2 days off of having lost to the. I'm sorry, having beaten the Sharks,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't think the Flyers play again until Sunday. Is it? No, they play Saturday at Boston. So, oh my God, they're in the middle of a really rough stretch here. Toronto, Boston, Toronto, Carolina, Boston, Florida, Rangers, all teams in the playoffs at the moment. So
Mm-mm-mm.
it's a tough little stretch here. And then they do have Chicago, and then the Rangers again, and then Chicago. But it's this is a dangerous stretch right here. If they go under 500 in this stretch, there's a chance the Islanders could catch them.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully they take care of business, or at least show some fight against the
Yeah,
Maple Leafs. But you
it'd be
never know.
suck if they. It'd be suck. It would really suck if they didn't really truly sell the deadline, and then they miss the playoffs too. Because then you're in that exact area where you don't want to be, which is purgatory when you're not good enough to make the playoffs, but not bad enough to get a top pick. And they did trade some guys away. We'll briefly touch on the deadline in a minute, but
Yeah.
they traded away Sean Walker and they traded Wade Allison and
Defensive,
yeah,
defensive player.
Walker's a defenseman. They traded Allison, who was like a young forward, kind of like a forward swap for Dennis Gurianov. Like they I don't know, they made a couple moves,
Is that
but
an improvement?
I don't think they improved the team, but I think they improved their long term outlook. So I guess we'll just jump right into it. So they traded Sean Walker to Colorado
I'll give me.
for a first round pick.
You can keep going. I'll be back.
First round pick and Ryan Johansson. Ryan Johansson was kind of a salary dump for Colorado. It was kind of their in order for the Flyers to take that first round pick from or to get that first round pick from Colorado, they pretty much had to take a bad contract. Johansson is not a big fan of Tortorella. He's also I think he's buddies with Kevin Hayes too. So or shares an agent with Cutter Gauthier, so he didn't want to play for Tortorella. They stashed him in the minors. He'll probably be gone. They also
Torch isn't
what's
that
it called?
bad. Come on now.
Yeah, they re-signed Nick Sealer, 4 years, $10.8 million. Great deal for them. He leads. I think he's one of the leaders in block shots this year. They traded for Eric Johnson, who is apparently still around.
For a fourth rounder?
To
I
give you
think.
perspective, he was I think the first overall pick in like 2005.
Jesus.
So that's like trading for. I don't even know how to explain this. Matt Ryan. I don't know.
Mine is wild.
And then they also they did this. So this is kind of unique. What they did in the NHL because the salary cap is a hard number. You can't bury salary contracts. You can't cut guys and then get away dead cap.
Mhm.
So Vegas made a trade for Noah Hannafin from Calgary, and in order to make that trade work, Calgary technically traded Hannafin to the Flyers, and then the Flyers flipped him to Vegas, even though the Flyers had no interest. They obviously would have loved to have him, but
Yeah.
it was really Carolina and Calgary and Vegas making the trade. But the Flyers kind of brokered the deal because they took on Hannafin and then flipped him and then ate half of his salary. And in exchange, they got a fifth round pick out of it. So they kind of just became the broker of the deal. They got an extra pick, which is kind of cool. They didn't do anything. The Rangers go out and get Alex Wenberg from Seattle. And they also got, what's it called? They got Jack Roslovic from, I think, Columbus. Two guys. Roslovic's been good for them so far. Jake Gensel was the big name at the deadline. He was traded to Carolina. He is now off of injured reserve. He's going to help them a lot. He was on the cup winning teams for Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Good forward. Somebody called into Pittsburgh sports radio complaining they traded an American guy for a bunch of Finnish and Swedish guys, which is
that the
par
one
for
you
the
sent me?
course par for the course for hillbilly Pittsburgh. Vegas got Noah Hanifin. They also got Tomas Hertl from the Sharks, probably the best player on the Sharks.
Saying a lot.
Hanifin was I think a number 3 overall pick about 10 years ago, so he is a guy. The Jets got Tyler Toffoli from the from the Devils. We saw him score outside.
The New York Jets.
Evgeny, yeah. Yeah, they're going to
Joke,
replace
joke,
Rogers
jokes.
with him. They got him and Tyrod. And then, Tyrod, so a couple alliterations. The Hurricanes get Evgeny Kuznetsov from the Capitals. They seemed like they were done with him. They sent him down to the minors. Fall from grace for him, but we'll see.
Jesus.
And then
Kingsbury?
Vladimir Tarasenko used to be good. He was on the cover of the video game. He got traded to Panthers. Kind of like another Giroux-ish kind of deal. But big winners of the deadline. Vegas, obviously. Vegas keeps so Vegas is going to get themselves in trouble. What happens in the NHL, and then we'll move on, is you can put a player on long-term injured reserve. So, for instance,
Yeah.
let's say,
Out
I
for two
guess,
years.
so if out for a while, so I think it has to be like legitimate injury. So the Flyers, for instance, the last couple of years have put Sean Couturier on that, and they currently have Ryan Ellis on long-term injured reserve. Let's say whatever, Konechny breaks his leg tomorrow, and they put him
Jesus.
on long-term injured reserve. His money does not count toward the salary cap. So what Vegas did is they put Mark
Oh.
Stone, and yeah, so they put Mark Stone on long-term injured reserve and Jack Eichel. Eichel came back. Stone, I think, is still out. But when you get to the playoffs, there's no salary cap. So what they've done is they've been able to absorb salary, and then when you get to the playoffs, all of a sudden, got some guys magically able to come back, and you're playing with a team that's $10 million over the cap. The Lightning did it for a couple of years. Vegas has now done it a few years. So this trade for Hannafin might actually get them in trouble long term when maybe the next collective bargaining agreement happens, and teams are like, "No, fuck that. We're not doing this anymore." And
Sneaky,
it's literally
sneaky,
cheating.
sneaky.
The easy solution is just to implement the salary cap in the playoffs, but for some reason they voted against it. Ironically, Tampa was one of the teams that wanted it in place, and when it got voted against, they started manipulating it themselves. They had Nikita Kucherov, who's the best player in the league, arguably, best scorer in the league. He a couple of years ago they put him on LTIR, and then as soon as playoffs said, "Hey, Nikita Kucherov's back. He's ready to go," and they just get a $9 million player onto the books, and they are able to surround their team with a ton of talent. So
Oh. We have some
they call it circumventing the salary cap.
unfortunate breaking news here. I'm trying to make sure this is legit here. Um, I believe Toronto's RJ Barrett now.
Yep.
RJ Barrett's younger brother, Nathan,
Oh my God, I'm seeing the same thing.
has reportedly passed away per
Oh,
TMZ
wait a
Sports.
second. Eagles just signed Devin White.
Our condolences to RJ Barrett and his family.
Yeah, sorry. But the Eagles just signed Devin White,
Who the heck is Devin White?
one of the best linebackers on the market.
Oh, baby. Let's go.
1 year, up to $7.5 million. Good player. Good player, man.
Howie is cooking. Oh, my
Antonio Brown.
goodness.
Yeah,
Howie's
but
cooking, man.
condolences to RJ Barrett.
Yeah, that's some
Condolences to the
unfortunate
other
news.
GMs in the National Football League. It's
Right.
upsetting. Um, so free agency chaos. That's a good segue. That was our next segment anyway. Eagles. Saquon Barkley, C.J. Gardner Johnson, Zach Bond. Don't know who that is. Devontae Parker, who
Linebacker.
went off against the Eagles 4 years ago. Bryce Huff, and Matt Hennessy,
I think so.
and now Devin White.
I mentioned they re-signed Jake Elliott. I think he's the highest, if not the second highest kicker in the league.
I think he's the highest paid kicker in the league now.
He's paid more than what Washington gave Eckler.
And
Commanders
the
just do stupid
same amount of
things.
money as I think Henry got. I think Henry got what, 3 years, 18,
Man, that
or
running
2
back
years, 12.
position has fall from grace.
I was a little surprised when the Eagles were in on Barkley. I thought for sure they would go sign like a Zach Moss, or maybe they knew that Mixon would be available. They could sign him. It's interesting that they went and signed a big running back.
See, I was
Yeah.
I was on the side that they would re-sign DeAndre Swift. Philly guy.
Well,
He did
seeing what
well.
he got. Yeah.
He was your best back. You just didn't really use him.
Yeah. I
And
think they have a type of running back that'll fit Kellen Moore's scheme, like more of a zone runner like Barkley as opposed to like a downhill runner like Swift. Swift getting $8 million from the Bears is crazy. When they already had Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert, who were arguably better than him. Swift
are
is going to go
cooking.
there to kind of die a little bit. Not no pun intended, but C.J. Gardner Johnson, surprised he came back. Well, first of all, do you like the Barkley deal?
I like it. I mean, we started with Miles Sanders, and we ended up with Saquon Barkley. I think that's a W.
Yeah, that's fair. He's
I'll
also
take that.
taken. I think he's wearing Sanders number 2.
26?
26. Yeah. So Barkley,
Commander.
when I first heard of it, I was like, I don't really want a big running back when there's so many other needs on this team.
Right.
You need a safety. You need probably at least one corner. You can maybe get away with using one of your young corners in the nickel. You need at least 2 linebackers. You need an edge. You need an interior lineman. Probably a wide receiver 3, and then you can worry. And you need a backup quarterback, and then you can worry about running back.
Went right for
So
the
at
running back
first, I was like,
first.
this is a terrible idea, but seeing the contract, it's actually fewer years and less money than I thought he was going to get. I thought for sure he would get like 15 a year, and for like 4 years, and his cap hit this year is only like 3.6 million. So it
Howie's
seems like they
perfect.
may have structured it in such a way that he got a massive bonus up front, and they've obviously restructured all these guys. You've probably seen the graphic. Prescott and Daniel Jones both have higher cap
Oh
hits
yeah,
this year than I think Jalen Hurts,
four
Saquon Barkley,
players.
and both the receivers combined by a wide margin. It's not by 400,000. It's like
Right.
$10 million difference. It's like 36 million for those guys. Jones is like 47, and then what's Dak Prescott 59.
In Howie we trust, baby. In Howie we
And
trust.
also worth noting, this is a Jeff Lurie thing too, because not many owners will pay that bonus up front
Right.
and then spread it out over the course. You don't see Jerry Jones doing this, where he's, hey, I'll give you the $24 million bonus right now if it means we can have. It really is. You hear the term, they want to win, or they put the team first. They really are doing that with this, and the players taking the money up front is cool, but they also are going to be receiving like very little throughout. Like Lane Johnson, I think every year just gets his signing bonus up front and gets like $100,000 a game toward his game check, and it's it shows that these guys are a little selfless when doing it. But
All right.
so CJ Gardner Johnson, I was surprised. I'm not surprised they were interested in him. I am a little surprised that the guy that said so much about him and the fans kind of shit on him that he came back. But good for him, good for them.
I'm not
He was a good
surprised.
fit here. He really does fit the culture here, and I think he's going to be kind of like a culture setter.
He gets it, man. And
Yeah,
he was in a similar position as Saquon was with the Giants. He wanted to get
yeah,
paid. He felt like he wasn't going to get paid here. So he said, F it, I'm going to bet on myself for a year or two in Detroit. And
yeah.
look at
Had a
that
good year.
team. Look at that team. That team blew everyone's expectations out the water. Maybe not them. They knew they were going to go to the playoffs.
Flyers game's not on TV.
Oh, that's just trifling. Well, no, Torch. Torch is the main event. Like, that's who you pay to watch.
Yeah, it says it's on ESPN Plus, but
Oh,
it doesn't have any other place
that's
listed.
brutal.
Whatever. I guess I'll have to watch a stream.
That's brutal.
Oh,
But
Zach Bond. Any
yeah,
idea who that
CJ.
is? Oh, CJ. Yeah,
Yeah, like I'm not surprised. Like, and he even said like, "Oh, Philly, I'm back. I
yeah,
love the city." Like he gets it. Like it's a back and forth with the city and the fans and the
yeah,
team. So,
yeah. I'm fine with it. I have no issue with him coming back.
but to answer your question,
Zach,
Zach Bond, who
I believe younger brother of Ryan Bond.
from
No idea.
Milwaukee?
Devontae Parker hasn't been good in a couple of years, but he's better than Zacchaeus, I
I
guess.
don't like
Bryce
that
Huff.
move.
I don't mind it. I think
I'm
for
not
a
a
wide
fan.
receiver three, he at least has, he's big receiver. I think he'll be fine here. Not going to do much, but
I mean, you had other wide receivers probably out there.
I would have liked keeping. I don't know if Zacchaeus is still here, but I like the way he played last year. I thought he offered a
Give
lot
me
to them. He's also
Renfro.
local. Yeah, Renfro would have been nice. Bryce Huff led the league in pressure rate the last 2 years. Only played about 60% of the snaps though, so we'll see if he can do that with a higher workload. Matt Hennessy, Temple guy, that's cool. Coming over from the Falcons, and then they re-signed Jake Elliott, Landon Dickerson, big deal for him, 4 years, 84 million. They also keep Rick Lovato,
Hey,
a guy who I've said multiple times was the best player on the team, and Braden Mann, who was really, really good for them last year. The stark difference between him and the other punter they had, a very,
I'm
very big step up from Sipos.
I'm still upset that they didn't pick up the guy from the Buffalo that they that
Yeah.
rookie
Well,
Ariza.
I'm surprised they didn't.
But he got a
And
job though.
also, Tommy Townsend got cut by the Chiefs when they signed
Oh,
Areza too. So I think Townsend went to the Cardinals. I forget. Um. So real quick, quarterbacks on the move. There was another one just like moments ago.
oh, really? Let's see.
Well, I think I texted you about it.
Oh,
So I guess we'll go in order. You can tell me if you think it's a good move or a bad move. Russell Wilson to Pittsburgh.
indifferent. I think they made the move to make a move.
Yeah, I think it's a good move for them because he's only getting like $1 million from them, so it's not a big risk. And at
True.
worst, you get it's just a one-off. At best, maybe you make the playoffs with him. He was not terrible last year with Denver.
Sam Howell was the player.
Yeah, somehow. Kirk Cousins goes to the Falcons. What do you make of that?
Love it.
I like it for them. I don't know. Yeah,
I love it.
I think it's a good move. It's a lot of money for him, but
Dude, he
his
somehow gets these big old contracts everywhere he
yeah,
goes. He doesn't miss.
he will have made $400 million if he makes it through this deal.
And remember,
Tyrod to the Jets,
real
who
quick,
always finds himself in the weirdest quarterback situations ever.
but real quick on the Cousins situation.
Yeah.
Minnesota
So,
didn't really want him like that.
well, apparently Kevin O'Connell really wanted him because when they were talking about
O'Connell,
him at the
sure.
press conference, he looked pissed.
Well, Connell, yes, of course. When you have a quarterback, it's very hard to get someone else, right? But I think the franchise, like the ownership, didn't really want him, weren't sold on him.
Yeah, it seemed like the GM wasn't really sold.
But here's Arthur Blank and the Falcons just saying, "We want you. We
Yep.
want you here. We'll
And
pay you."
immediately got him two receivers too.
Exactly. So it's a different environment where you know you're wanted and needed,
Yeah.
as opposed to, "Hey, we just need to make a move. Let's see what you can do for us,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about it
Yeah.
afterwards."
I'll probably forget by the time we get there, but Rondale Moore was also brought in by them. They traded Desmond Ritter. And oh, cool. The Flyers are losing already. Austin Matthews just scored.
Gift, baby. Let's go.
Oh, hit. And then also they brought in Darnell Mooney, former Bear.
Really?
So
Oh, okay.
yeah, good move for them.
Falcons, baby.
Tyrod to the Jets. I love it for him. I love it for them. He's better than Wilson. He's probably better than the Republican candidate or whatever he is.
Is he gonna be on every football team before his career's over?
If they don't kill him first, I mean,
Jesus
they've
Christ.
tried, but they can't. Joe Flacco to the Colts. Surprised the Browns didn't want to keep him.
Wow, I didn't know that happened.
I think it's a 1 year, like $8 million deal. So it's like a good amount of money. Don't tell me he just scored again.
So you're telling me?
Oh no, he's on both my fantasy
So
teams. So it told me Austin Matthews scored, and then a second later said Austin Matthews scored, but it was because I have two fantasy teams with him.
so
I thought it
basically,
was 2-0.
either they gave up on Minshew, or they don't believe that he's the future, and parlay it with Richardson is not fully ready.
Well,
Plus, you need a
he's
backup
quite
anyway because he can.
he's a
probably get
great
hurt.
backup plan. I think. Well, Minshew got paid with the Raiders, so
He went
Jacoby
to
Brissett back.
Oakland. Oh
Yeah,
my
so
goodness.
Jacoby Brissett back to the Patriots, 1 year deal for $7 million. I love that for them, especially after trading Matthew McCorkle-Jones. Marcus Mariota goes to the Commanders. He maybe will have a chance to fight for the starting job. Jameis Winston to the Browns. Very interesting move there. What a wonderful quarterback room that's going to be. Drew Lock to the Giants.
That's what? Drew Lock, Young
Yeah.
Jeezy
So
with
Drew
Tommy
Lock, Daniel
Cutlets.
Jones, and Tommy Cutlets walk into a quarterback room.
I love it.
Um, Desmond Ritter traded to the Cardinals straight up for Rondale Moore. See what happens there.
All right.
Maybe they can develop him. Mac Jones traded to the Jags. Mason Rudolph signs with the Titans. So Calvin
Mid.
Ridley, I guess he didn't know that going in because he probably wouldn't have signed if he knew that.
Right.
They now have 4 backup quarterbacks. Gardner Minshew goes to Vegas. Sam Darnold is the new Viking quarterback, I guess.
That's
And
great.
then Sam Howell goes to Seattle. I kind of like that for him.
Colts love the move. Patriots love the move.
Yeah.
Let me look at Drew Lock.
Mariota, serviceable backup for the Commanders, I'd say.
Drew Lock played well too when he played for what's his
Yeah, I mean,
name?
and
Seattle.
maybe Dable can kind of unlock something with him. No pun intended.
I love the Mac Jones to Jacksonville. Just give him a fresh start, man. Get him out of
Yeah.
that Boston
And
area.
go work with some quarterbacks. Doug Peterson.
And less pressure too to win because New England is spoiled.
Although the Jags, I think, are under a lot of pressure this year.
Oh yeah, especially Lawrence. Like, dude, it's now or never.
Yeah, at some point, I got to see it.
I mean, we've seen a glimpse of it, but we need to see it through the whole season.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, let's go to the running back carousel here.
Running backs, the carousel. I think another move actually just happened not long ago. I think AJ Dillon is back with the Packers. There was I'm sorry, I'm just trying to catch up so we touch on everything because obviously we won't talk for another week. By the way, Corey Davis, Undertaker meme, he's back from the dead. Yeah, so AJ Dillon is expected to go back to the Packers.
Okay.
So they called it I don't know if this is a joke, but they said it's the 4th-year tender or something like that. It's like some sort of a qualifying offer. It's not used very often.
Mm-hmm.
All right, running back carousel. So Barkley to the Eagles. We both kind of like it from a football perspective, but monetarily, I'm not a huge fan of the deal. But seeing as they're able to sign other guys, it's fine.
Right.
Devin Singletary goes to the Giants. I think that's a home run for them, or at least a double off the wall. Like he is going to be able to. He's only missed 6 games, I think, in the last 4 games the last 6 years or something like that. He had 900 yards from scrimmage last year in the regular season. He also had a pretty good playoff run with Houston. I think it's a great way to replace Barkley for a cheap-ish deal.
Yeah, Giants fans.
So I think it's a great move for them.
Giants fans are over the moon saying the better Barkley has come
Whatever
down
they
to
can,
New York.
they can have Matt Barkley. Joe Mixon traded to the Texans for a 7th-round pick. I don't see how you can dislike this if you're a Texans fan.
Texans are cooking this offseason as well.
Big fan of him as a player, not a big fan of him as a person. But Zach Moss to the Bengals, I thought he would be one of the big, like, underrated backs.
That's a good pickup.
Probably not a 3 down back, but I'd like the move for them. Although it would have been nice to see him with Mixon, not instead of Mixon.
This next one right here, Lord have mercy.
This is you want to talk about a home run. Derrick Henry. This might not be a home run. It might be a
See ya.
3 run double. I love this for the Ravens. I
I think
love
that's a
this
grand
for
slam.
him. I love this for Lamar. I hate this for anybody else. You got Patrick Ricard at fullback, Derrick Henry at running back, and Lamar Jackson under center. They might not throw the ball all season.
But look at that division though.
Yeah,
You got if the ball stays from Cleveland, the defensive player, I forget his name already.
Myles Garrett,
Miles Garrett twice a year. TJ Watt, whatever his name is.
T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith.
Oh baby. Here we go. This division is gonna
Yep.
get even more
Oh,
cooked.
yeah, I think it's the best division in football. You can argue. Maybe if the Steelers figure out the quarterback spot, but that's an interesting. And also, if you want to figure out what's happening with T. Higgins with the Bengals,
Oh, he's good
I'm
as
not sure
gone.
what's going to happen with that.
He's good as gone.
Uh,
Imagine if Jetta
Tony
goes there.
Pollard. Oh, I'm sorry. What's
Imagine
that?
if Jetta goes there.
Supposedly there was a deal on the table. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see. Tony Pollard headed to the Titans. I kind of like it for them.
Yeah, not bad.
I don't know. I don't think he's a starter, but he's a good back. Antonio Gibson goes to the Patriots.
Decent.
A nice little pickup for them. He's an upgrade over what they had. Austin Eckler to the Commanders. I think he's kind of toward the back end of his career, but still, I think it's whatever. Gus Edwards going to the Chargers since they lost Eckler. I think they're going to draft Blake Corum.
I don't like that move at all. Gus Edwards to the
I don't
Chargers.
understand. I don't think he's a great back. Swift to the Bears for a lot of money. Josh
Hey,
Jacobs
good
to
for
the
the Bears.
Packers. I like that for the Packers.
Whoa. So they got AJ Dillon and Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, and Aaron Jones is a Viking now. So
Ooh. And Aaron Jones. Look at that.
yeah, it's
I
funny
love
how
it.
that all works. The Packers just get rid of everybody that's 26 or older. Um, and then we'll quickly jump through some of like the bigger names that have been moved. Shaq Barrett and Jordan Poyer are both signing with the Dolphins. Sheldon Rankins is going to the Bengals. Patrick Queen going to the Steelers. That's a pretty interesting
That's
move.
a big move.
Yeah, they weren't going to be able to pay him and Roquan.
Sure.
Daniil Hunter to the Texans. I like that for them.
For sure.
Gabe Davis to the Jags.
Oh,
Yeah, 3 years. I think he got almost the exact same deal as Barkley.
that's got to be an upgrade from Ridley.
I don't know. Ridley, I mean,
I love
Ridley
Ridley.
did have time. He disappeared at times last year, but I think also at the same time, he's a dynamic player. You're not going to see it with the Titans, but Ridley with the Titans now. Talking about a weird turn of events. So Ridley was a Falcon. The Eagles tried to trade for him at the draft a couple of years ago. The Falcons told them, hey, he might get in trouble. So then that probably changed the asking price. So they pivot and go after A.J. Brown, who the Titans don't want to pay. A.J. comes here, the Eagles pay him. Ridley goes to the Jags, has a nice little year, and then he leaves, and the Titans pay Ridley almost what A.J. Brown got paid here, but he's obviously an inferior player. So it's fun how that works out. Christian Wilkins to the Raiders, I love that for them. I think he's an impact player.
Good move.
Zach Ertz and Bobby Wagner to the Commanders, along with Austin Eckler and Marcus Mariota. They're going to be so good in 2018.
Oh, I love it.
They might have a chance to go to like Super Bowl 48. Xavier McKinney gets paid by the Pack,
Good for him.
and then Darnell Mooney to the Falcons. So, and recently Curtis Samuel just signed with the Bills about an hour ago. So
I mean,
some interesting
replacing
moves.
Gabe Davis.
Now, if they had Scott Boras as the agents, the only players that would have been signed by now are Gus Edwards and like maybe one other, Sheldon Rankins. And we'd be hearing that 7 teams are interested in Kirk Cousins. He wants 9 years with no opt-outs.
Even though he wants to go to Atlanta, but we can't tell him that he wants to go to Atlanta.
John Heyman's tweeting the same thing every 5 minutes.
Oh, John Heyman's a dork.
So Panthers traded Dante Jackson along with draft capital to the Steelers for Deontay Johnson. Interesting move there. The Panthers trade Brian Burns to the Giants. That's a big deal.
He was a rental.
And the Browns get Jerry Jeudy for pretty much nothing, which I like for them. And then there's reports that Brandon Ayuk is interested in a trade, and the Jaguars are interested in him. So we'll
Depends
see.
on what you get back, but that's a good win for both parties. He's disgruntled. He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, T. Higgins also wants to trade out of Cincy. We'll see what happens there. And Justin Jefferson was offered a contract that would pay him $30 million a year. He turned it down. So I think he wants to see who his quarterback's going to be first.
I mean, when you see Sam Darnold getting signed after Kirk Cousins leaves, that's no
Along
bueno.
with Mullins and Jaron Hall. Yeah.
Yikes. Out of that, Eagles, I give them like a B plus, A
Yeah,
minus.
so far they've been the most active team, I would say.
And they just picked up one of the better linebackers you just mentioned.
Yeah, Raiders made it look pretty good so far. Still got to
Cowboys,
figure out the
baby. What you doing?
they did make one move. They signed Eric Kendricks, who was originally supposed to go to the 49ers. Oh, Jordan Hicks, I think, signed with the Browns, former Eagle.
Former Eagle.
Um, I think that's about it. Jonnu Smith signed somewhere. Not a whole lot of. Mike Gesicki went to, I think, the Bengals.
They needed a tight
So
end after Asama.
yeah,
Aswama. Azuma. That's,
Uzama left. They had Drew Sample there, I think.
yeah, they went downhill.
Yeah.
All right. Um, as we mentioned at the top of the show, we're gonna do MLB predictions. Part 1 is tonight. Next week, hopefully, we get part 2. As you know, baseball season is coming around the corner, and my man's got plans to Seattle and other spots with his left
Yeah.
foot weather.
So next week we'll do the over under picks.
Okay.
The 4 overs, 4 unders, or 5 overs, 5 unders, whatever you want to do.
Phillies
We'll
prop.
yeah, let's name. We'll do playoff teams next week. Oh no, we'll do them. Maybe we'll do them tonight. We'll do playoff teams next week.
Playoffs. Yeah.
It'll kind of tie into the over unders, and then also next week we'll do. I'll have a handful of Phillies props that we can pick.
Gotcha.
Bryce Harper over or under 28 and a half, whatever. So this week we're gonna pick award winners, statistical leaders, and then the team with the best and worst record, and a couple other things. And then next week we'll add more. We'll have a bunch just to kind of track throughout the season. It'll be kind of fun this year versus last year where I kind of forgot everything. Um, so this year, so what we'll do is we'll pick award winners, MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, Manager of the Year for both leagues, and then we'll go straight down the stat leaders, and then we'll get y'all out of here. So
All right. All right.
most
All right.
valuable player, I guess we might as well start with that. Last
MVP.
year, of course, who was it? It was Otani in the AL and Acuna in the National League. If you'd like, I can read you some odds.
Dude, remind me. Wasn't it 4 guys for that NL MVP? Acuna,
It was Acuna,
Betts, Freeman.
Betts, Freeman, and I think Matt Olson. Matt Olson led the league in home runs. I don't even think he was a finalist.
Yeah, 2 guys from both teams.
Crazy. How do I see?
You gotta say Otani, no? Nah.
I mean,
Is Otani getting the LeBron treatment of like, or Steph Curry? You're now a
it's a good question.
superstar. You're gonna be. You. We know that you're valuable. Let's go somewhere else.
Good question. By the way, opening day is actually next Wednesday. The Padres and Dodgers are playing in, I think, Korea. I'm going to assume
China.
that's not.
That's fucked up.
I'm going to guess that's not North Korea.
Jesus.
But yeah, they're playing the Seoul series, I think it's called.
The cat.
So I guess let's start with National League. I guess the favorite right now is Ronald Acuna. It's been a while since someone kind of repeated though. It goes Acuna, Betts, Freeman, Otani, Tatis, Olson, Harper, Corbin Carroll, Trey Turner, Austin Riley, Pete Alonso, Machado, Goldschmidt, Lindor, Arenado, Bogarts, Arias, Ketel Marte. Then we get the weird ones like Ellie De La Cruz, Will Smith, Christian Yelich. None of these guys are going to win it. But who do you think wins National League MVP?
Give me Ronald Acuna.
Acuna.
Repeating it, baby.
I will go with. I don't know. I think if he can stay on the field, it'll be. I think it'll be Tatis.
Tatis.
But I mean, there's questions obviously about whether or not he can stay on the field.
Sure.
It's weird. Of course, Acuna, I picked to win MVP like 3 out of the last 4 years, and the only time I didn't was last year. American League MVP. So I think also Otani's just going to be DHing, which could hurt his value
That's
because
true.
then there won't be any fielding or pitching.
Right.
American League. So Juan Soto is actually the favorite right now. It's Soto, Judge, Julio Rodriguez, Seager, Jordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Bobby Witt, Gunnar Henderson, Mike Trout, Vlad Guerrero, Rafael Devers, Jose Ramirez, Marcus Giz, Bo Bichette, Adley Rutschman, Jose Altuve, Royce Lewis, Luis Robert Jr., Yandy Diaz, Tristan Casas, and then we get the weird ones like Alex Bregman, Adolis Garcia, Randy Arozarena, Carlos Correa, Josh Young. Yeah, we get all the guys that aren't going to win it.
Give me Corey Seager.
Corey Seager's a good one. World Series MVP twice before he turns 31, I think. I'm actually not sure who to pick here. I'm gonna go J Rod.
I do like J Rod.
Cy Young. Obviously, some things have changed in the last few weeks with Corbin Burns getting traded to the American League, and then Garrett Cole possibly needing arm surgery. So
He's out for two
National
months
League
though,
Cy Young.
right?
Yeah, 2 months. But at the same time, if he's out 2 months and they shut him down for 2 months, then
That's true.
it's going to take him a few weeks to ramp back up. He might not be back until the All Star break.
And you need a certain amount
National
of
League.
innings, right?
I'm sorry.
You do need like
Well,
a
I don't
certain
know.
amount of innings, right?
It's not like the NBA where you have to have a certain amount of innings, but I mean, if a guy's only available for 3 months, it's hard to pick him versus
Because
guys who've been around all
isn't
year.
that the reason why Ranger Suarez doesn't get like Gold Glove? Because
Well,
he's
for that, yeah,
oh for
there's an
that
innings
it's different.
qualifier for that, yeah,
Okay,
because they go by numbers for that, I believe.
all right. Oh, so what?
Net so
So which one we're doing? NL or
NL
AL?
Cy Young.
NL.
So Strider, Wheeler, Logan Webb, Max Fried, Zach Gallen, Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Justin Steele, Aaron Nola.
Oh,
A lot of interesting ones. Dylan Cease is on here now.
can you give me the top three again? I think there was a name Webb,
Spencer Strider, Zach Wheeler, Logan Webb.
Webb.
Logan Webb. I will go with. So Glasnow won't pitch enough. Gallen, I think, is a good value pick. I will go with. So my dark horse for this one is Yuri Perez from the Marlins. I think he could be like a legitimate ace. I will go with Zach Gallen as my NL Cy Young. AL Cy Young is interesting because Corbin Burns is over there now. He might already be the favorite. Yeah. So it's Burns, Castillo, Pablo Lopez, Kevin Gausman, Tariq Skubal, Framber Valdez, George Kirby, Cole Reagans from the Royals is a dark horse. Logan Gilbert, Grayson Rodriguez, Zach Eflin, Joe Ryan, Shane Bieber. So American League Cy Young.
I mean, I'll just go with Burns.
Yeah, I think he's obviously the favorite. It is a little bit different going from the NL to the AL, so we'll see how that impacts things for him. I'll go Cole
Rookies.
Reagans,
Ooh, Reagan's. All right.
not Ronald Reagan. Um, see if we have a Rookie of the Year. Oh, we do have Rookie of the Year on here. Okay, National League Rookie of the Year. Uh, Obviously, take your pick. You got Yamamoto as the heavy favorite. Jackson Chourio from the Brewers. Young Ho Lee, who signed with I think the Giants. Jackson Merrill, Shoto Imanaga, Kyle Harrison, Dylan Cruz, Michael Bush, James Wood. Wood is the big cat that the what's it called? The Nats got in the Soto deal. Yamamoto seems like the favorite though.
I'll go Wood. I'll go Wood.
Wood, yeah, I was thinking about doing him. I'll just go Yamamoto.
I'm thinking.
Uh, and then American League, I think Evan Carter is the favorite for the American League. Yeah, American League, it's Evan Carter, Jackson Holiday, Wyatt Langford, Colt Keith, Junior Caminero, Parker Meadows, Heston Kjerstad, Nolan Shanuel. That's a lot of good options here.
Give me Langford.
Langford.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's going to be on the opening day roster, but I got to double check that. But he's a dynamic player. I will go with. Let's go Nolan Shanuel.
What was that? Nolan
Okay.
who?
Nolan Shamwell, whatever the fuck his name is. He's the guy that got drafted last year by the Angels and then debuted like 40 days after he got drafted. He plays first base, really good defender, and actually hits for average too. Manager of the year, I don't have odds, so I guess we'll have to go kind of off the top of the dome for this one.
AL and NL, correct?
Yeah, you get one for each. I'm trying to think of who I think will be kind of like a dark horse team this year.
They don't. They normally give it to the best team. No.
Sometimes it's like a kind of middle of the pack team that comes out of nowhere.
Um. Damn. This is.
I know who my NL pick's gonna be.
Trying to think here. This is good for the podcast. Dead air.
So I'll give you my picks if it helps. I think the Reds are going to be way better than people think this year. So I'm going to go David Bell as my National League pick. American League, I'm tempted to pick Scott Service from the or not Scott Service. What the fuck's his name?
Dude from the Mariners.
No, sorry, I'm thinking of yeah, Mariners. The hell. I'm also considering. I don't know. There's a couple other guys I was thinking of. Let's see if I can find odds.
Let me see.
I'll just go Scott Service.
Scott Service.
There's a chance Brandon Hyde gets it, but he already got it last year, so I don't think he'll get it again.
Hmm. This one I really just don't know. So let me
You could
give
just, if you
me
want to just pick a team, I think that you think might surprise, and then I'll, if I know the manager off the top of my head, I'll write it
Orioles.
down. But Orioles, that'll be Brandon Hyde.
He won it last year, right?
Yeah,
Ah, well that sucks. All right.
yeah, I don't know.
Fuck it. Rob Thompson, baby. Let's just keep it simple.
Finally,
Topper and AL. Hmm. Give me somebody in the AL Central who's gonna be good. Oh, the Reds, right?
well, the Reds are in NL Centers. You got the Twins, Guardians,
Guardians.
White
Who's
Sox. Is it still? I don't think it's Terry Francona
no? He
anymore, right? I
retired.
think he retired.
He
Um,
retired. Let's see. It is Stephen
oh,
Vogt.
it's Stephen Vogt. No fucking way. Yeah, that'd be cool if you got that. Stephen Vogt, former catcher for the Athletics. I didn't realize he got the job. All right, so this year, what we'll do is so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 stat categories, and we're gonna pick a whoever's gonna lead the league in that stat, and then whether it'll be over or under a number that I kind of just picked out of my ass. Um,
All right.
so home run leader this year. So keep in mind last year was Matt Olson at 54. Who do you think will be the home run leader, and will they have more or less than 52 and a half?
Hmm. Uh, give me Mike Trout. Healthy now. No Tawny shadow in his way. And it'll be under for the 2.5.
I will go. Hmm. I'm tempted to go Pete Alonso in a contract here,
Ooh.
which could be fun. Soto with that short porch could be fun, but he's not really a home run hitter.
J Rod putting it
Uh,
together. I
J
got
Rod would be fun. That's a big ballpark. Uh, you know what? I know this is kind of not the sexy pick. I'm gonna go with Tani.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
go
he
over.
hits, no? Oh, he's
Yeah, I mean
the.
he's gonna be in the opening day lineup, so
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't know if they're gonna have to baby him. But I mean Harper played a whole season with a torn labrum, so
Over under.
I'm gonna go over. I think he has like 56. RBIs. So last year it was Ronald Acuna with 137, but nobody else had more than 124. I set the number at 122 and a half.
I'm getting Acuna. He's going to get them
Yeah,
hits.
you go Acuna again. Think he goes over that number.
137 is. That was a fantastic year for the
Well,
Braves.
122 and a half is the number I picked here
Well,
because
I'm
I think
saying
it's a little bit more reasonable.
137. You
Yeah,
know.
one. I don't think he's not doing that again.
Yeah, he'll over that.
Okay, I will go. It's gonna be a decent player on a good team. I mean, Soto is pretty durable.
Corbin
Um,
Carroll. I think they put him in the
yeah,
second spot now.
depends where he hits. Yeah,
Or Jizz.
yeah, it just can be a good one. He can also get hurt.
Turner if he
Although he
puts it
did
together
play,
now.
he played every game last year. I would go league leader in RBIs this season will be.
Nick Castellanos.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, swings and misses with a runner on third, maybe. I'll just go Pete Alonso for this one.
He would lead. He would leave.
And
He would
I'll
lead the
go over.
league in runners left on base.
Yeah, exactly. Hits. So Ronald Acuna had 217 last year. I set the number at 205. I think I got my pick for this one.
What is this guy's name?
I'm gonna go Corbin Carroll over.
What's his name? What's his name? The fuck's his name?
Trying to think of the Marlins guy.
Yeah,
Arise.
yeah, that guy.
He was second last year.
That's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking 209
Yeah, 209 and a half.
under.
Under.
And who'd you have? Carroll, right?
Corbin Carroll. And then best batting average among qualifiers. Arise led baseball last year, 354. I'll set the number at 331 and a half. I believe Acuna was also around that number. I think he's at 337.
Trey Turner.
Sure. Interesting. I was thinking about him too. I'm gonna go Freeman.
Oh,
Uh, I'll go Freeman slightly over. You get Turner over or under.
just over.
Okay.
Literally by a point.
And then a couple pitching categories, only four. ERA, because wins don't matter in my opinion, and in most people's opinion. Who do you think will have the lowest ERA in baseball this year? And will it be higher or lower than 235? Blake Snell was the leader last year at 225. He was the only guy under 235 though.
Who has electric stuff? Webb?
Yeah, Logan Webb. If you're gonna take him for Cy, you might as well take him for this.
And this is under, right? I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna go lowest ERA in baseball will be. Uh,
Give me Ranger.
I'll go Burns,
Might as well, right?
but I think it'll be higher than that number. Lowest WHIP. So Garrett Cole was the only guy last year under one. He was at 981. I'm gonna have it set at 999. Uh, discount value price.
What's Bull's name that we just paid? Fuck, man. Not Nola. I'm bad.
Wheeler.
Yes. I
Wheeler.
believe he has a splitter or something in his arsenal. I saw.
Yeah, he added something this offseason.
I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, Wheeler. I will go with
And over, by the way.
over. Okay, I'll take Kevin Gaussman. I think it'll be over as well. And then strikeout leader,
No doubt
Spencer
about it.
Strider last year, 281. I set the number here at 259 and a half. Keep in mind, Garrett Cole for the first couple months.
Strider, over.
Yeah, I think that he might be the guy. Strider over. Let me just think of
Yamamoto,
somebody else that. Yeah, I was thinking about him.
the Mets. They picked somebody up.
Yeah, Senga I think is hurt
Basketball.
though.
Oh, he is hurt. Yeah.
Let's go with let's go Zach Gallen. Screw it. Actually, let's go Pablo Lopez.
Ooh, Loopy Lopez there.
I'll go Lopez over. And then saves. Emmanuel Clase, the only guy last year with 40. He had 44. I'm gonna set it at 40 and a half this year. For the save leader. I'm gonna go. I got a name. I'll go David Bednar of the Pirates, and then maybe another team after the deadline. But obviously, I think the leader in the clubhouse is probably going to be Josh Hader for this. Maybe Clay Holmes. Obviously, Edwin Diaz is back.
He is bad, but that team's not that
Bednar,
good
yeah.
enough to.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they win 80 games, he could save 40 of them.
You ready?
Yes.
Craig Kimbrell.
Jesus Christ. If Craig Kimbrell is the leader in saves this year, I'll eat my shoe.
Which shoe?
Preferably one that's got a hole in it already. Oh, don't tell me the Sixers are on national TV again.
Who would they be playing? Oh yeah, Bucks.
Maple Leafs are down or up to nothing. Oh, they took Matthews' goal away and gave it to Tyler Bertuzzi.
And under, by the way, severely.
How cool!
Under.
The Sharks are beating the Penguins.
I told you. Sucks. Never bet. Never losing on the hockey.
And then I forget who else I took. Oh, the Panthers, they're losing too. Terrible night. All right, what team do you think will have the best record?
Bradshaw. What a bozo. Oh, wait. Who's your closer?
David Bednar.
Bednar. All right.
What team do you think will have the best record?
Dodgers?
Yeah, I'm going to go Dodgers too. And do you think it'll be higher or lower than 104 and a half wins?
Under.
Under. I want to go over.
Who knows? The Braves could also pull it together.
This is true. Team with the worst record.
I mean, nobody's as worse as the A's, right?
I don't know. I think there's a chance that there's another team it could be.
Washington's got all.
Washington was like steady last year. I'm gonna go White Sox.
Nah. All right, you got Sox.
but I think it'll be higher than 58.5 wins. I think they'll finish with like 60 wins.
A's under, Sox over. I ain't mad at that.
A's under? Okay. And then that was how many teams this year will have okay, will there be so over under 2.5 teams with 100 wins?
Yes.
I'm gonna go over as well. And then over under 2.5 teams with 100 plus losses.
My answer was yes. I meant over. Jesus. Under. You
Yeah,
can't
I'm
be
gonna go
that
under
bad.
that one too.
You don't want to be
And
beating the other
then
team.
so there were four last year. I'm
Okay.
gonna set the number at 4.5 players to play in all 162 games.
There was four.
There were four. I know Marcus Simeon was one. I think Austin Riley might
Who?
have been another. I can't remember the other
You
two.
mean Marcus Jizz?
Yeah,
Um,
I forget who they all were, but I know Simeon was one. And I think that I think Austin
fuck
Riley was
no.
another.
That's a severe under.
I'm gonna go over that one.
I don't
And
know.
then next week we'll pick playoff teams, do the over under picks for the win totals, as well as a couple Phillies things, and that'll tie everything together as we enter the baseball season.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Baseball.
This is my favorite. My favorite stuff to look forward to is the baseball stuff.
I can't wait to go back to the ballpark. I can't wait. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I do not look forward to going back to the Wells Fargo. The next time I will be at the Wells Fargo Center will be WrestleMania weekend for NXT. That's the only time I'm going to hit the Wells Fargo for the rest of the season.
I haven't
Sixers
even.
are unwatchable at this point.
Yeah, this might be the first season in six. I since the COVID season, I guess that I went to games both of those. This would have been the first season since the year before Embiid that I will not go to a game.
Yeah, you haven't been to
I
games.
haven't been to a game since the year they had Okafor. Well, even though I was at a game that year. Uh, the last season that the Sixers played that I didn't go to a game would have been 2014-15. The year before they had 10 wins.
Oh my
That was like
god.
the MCW, Tony Roten, Elliot Williams, the year they got Covington.
You're well
And
past due for that one then.
yeah,
Deserve a
there's a
break.
chance. We're looking at Flyers tickets. If they make the playoffs, maybe we'll go to a game. But tickets are going to be expensive because you know how Philly is. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon when teams get in.
Right. With their fresh new jerseys. With the tag on it, probably.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Uh, baseball. Let's see. How many games did I go? I should have had an over under for how many baseball games I'd be at this year. Um,
I say over 7.
I got to figure out how many I was at last year.
Over
I
7 at
went
least.
to holy smokes, went to 26 last year,
Damn.
and 2022 went to uh, 17. So I already got tickets to one, two,
I'll say 30
three,
then for this
four,
year.
five, six. There's a chance I'll be at 6 games by the 10th day of the season.
Oh, yeah, we're crushing 30. We have to go back to Queens.
Yeah, I gotta get my stamp there. Yeah.
What
I
is
gotta get back
this?
to Queens. I think I'm gonna do another trip to Washington this year. Would like to do another Pittsburgh weekend because the Phillies are there for a weekend.
I do want to go to Pittsburgh because those
Pittsburgh would be a
pictures,
fun trip. Yeah.
gorgeous ballpark.
Yeah, if we make the trip, obviously it'd be cool to have you. I Washington is on my list again this year.
Would you look at this? Adrian Wojnarowski. This is 3 hours ago, so you might have seen this already. The 76ers are planning on signing ex-Hornet center Kai Jones to a 10-day contract on Friday.
Yeah,
Man, it
we'll
gets
see if he can
worse.
stay off the fucking Percocets or whatever he was on the last time. He was cracked out of his mind on Instagram Live a couple of years ago. So I don't know what that guy's deal is, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not here for it.
Yeah, no thanks. But
But this has
either way,
been
good to be back.
good to be back, trying to get back into the swing of things. Hopefully my lighting is much better than today. It's It's weird seeing myself like in this cloudy smoke filter that I have going on here. But yeah, episode 144 in the books. We did just under an hour and a half.
There we go. That's
So I know.
good time for us.
So I know the old ladies downstairs pacing back and forth, trying to get some food.
I'm hungry.
What's on the menu tonight?
Same thing as usual after the podcast. Something easy: chicken and potatoes.
Oh, you guys are cutting. I see what you're doing. Meal prep.
Well,
keep
no,
it
I just
simple.
I'm cutting time. Although it's not too bad. Only 8 o'clock. We got done at like 10 last time.
Oh yeah, definitely hit Qdoba.
Yeah, I've been throwing stuff on the grill the last few days. Might do the same tonight.
If it's a beautiful night, might as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful here. It's probably similar where you are, maybe a little bit colder where you are,
A
but
little bit colder.
it was like 70 when I got out of work.
I try to get the drone out, but the wind was like
Mm.
no bueno. And I was like, I'm not risking this getting crashed again.
Yeah, I'm glad it's working again.
But yeah, so I'm trying to get the drone back. But that's what happens when you live down the shore. It's beautiful, but if you try to use drone, that wind's gonna take it. I'm not having it. But all right, we're rambling on. We'll see you next week for the Tuesday 10, possibly, and definitely part 2 of the MLB predictions for episode 145 of the PA Turn Pod. Enjoy. Hopefully, try to enjoy this Maple Leafs Flyers game. Maybe they rally a comeback.
Hopefully they come back.
Let's see if Doc Rivers puts his foot in his mouth and chokes against the B team or the C team Sixers on the road.
Against the Delaware Bluecoats. It's 3-0 Maple Leafs.
Cracking around tonight, I believe. And so is Vegas as well. I think Vegas is
Vegas
on the road.
plays Calgary, and the Kraken have the Capitals on the back end of a back-to-back.
So let's go Kraken.
So far, Panthers are losing 2-0. Penguins are tied at 2. And that's it for my first parlay. Then I need, well, if that falls flat, I need the Golden Knights and Kraken to win tonight. Then, but who knows?
Oh, apropos, the Flyers Nation Twitter handle shows a video of the Maple Leafs going up 3-0, and it says "Good night, everyone." 4 minutes ago.
That's it.
So
they're not beating the Leafs.
yeah, it's over. Well, as usual, as soon as we sign off, people check Twitter, put your notifications on. Something's about to break. In a good way.
Yeah,
so
I think I'll give you. You want a bold prediction
for what? Anything?
For NFL. I think I got one.
Let me hear it.
By the next time we speak
Ooh.
on here, I think the Rams will have acquired from the Eagles Josh Sweat.
Yeah, it's either him or
Reddick. I think ultimately they're going to keep one and get rid of the other, and I think they're keeping Reddick and dumping Sweat.
All right, my bold prediction is
a different quarterback is the RFK running mate.
A team will trade with the Bears for the number 1 overall pick, and the Bears will get multiple picks. But Justin Fields is still on the Bears somehow.
Yeah, Justin Fields, buddy, might want to learn a different language.
China.
See what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's up to. Maybe get a UFL deal.
We need a drop for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Fuck your story.
Yeah,
Fuck
right.
Your story. All right, guys.
Nonetheless.
Oh yeah, we haven't even spoken about wrestling. That's a different topic for a different day.
A lot to dive into. I've been complaining about it too much. That's why.
As WrestleMania is coming around as well.
Yeah.
So it's exciting times in Philly.
Yeah, big business as they fill out 1/3 of the arena. So
what a great way to end it. All right, guys, enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you next week on the PA Turn Pod. Adios.
See ya!